Join us on an adventure through crazy American highways. We'll explore 10 abandoned highways or routes that were never completed and lead to nowhere. Here's a quick clarification of terms. In the US, highway and freeway are often used the same way. They're wide roads for many drivers, connecting regions and states. We'll use both terms in this video. A parkway is similar but for scenic drives, not for traveling between big cities or states. Interstate highways are built to higher standards than highways and with more funding, but the interstate highway network doesn't always cross state lines, which can be confusing. Alright, now off we go. The Lake Ontario Parkway in north-central New York State is a 35-mile scenic route that ends abruptly at both ends. At its eastern end, it terminates at Charlotte Beach, with agricultural fields stretching out as far as the eye can see. As its western end, it ends in a stop interchange at Lakeside State Park. The parkway was originally planned to be a 145-mile route stretching from Rochester to Niagara Falls, but plans changed and the terminus was moved to Fort Niagara, and ultimately the project was abandoned in the 1970s due to changes in funding priorities. The state legislature prioritized infrastructure projects in cities over suburbs and rural areas. Described by many as national treasure and immortalized in popular culture through songs such as Route 66 by the Rolling Stones, this interstate highway has unfortunately lost its appeal. It's not so much the route itself that doesn't live up to its image from the 1920s, but rather the deserted ghost towns it leads to. Hence, we classify this highway as leading to nowhere on multiple occasions. The National Park Service describes Route 66 as an artery of transportation, an agent of social transformation, and a remnant of America's past. It stretches 2,400 miles across 2/3 of the continent. So, what happened to Route 66? Although about 85% of the route is still drivable, many exits and intersections lead to ghost towns or open fields, making perfect settings for a Hollywood thriller movie. After all its fame and glory, which propelled the USA into the modern era of transportation, it was overtaken by bigger and better built interstate highways. As you may be able to tell from the name, this project never really made it far. In fact, there is only a stub of road today that indicates the remains of the route. Part of the Pennsylvania Route 23 highway, in the namesake of U.S. state of Pennsylvania, this part of the route is about 1/2 mile or 800 meters long and ends abruptly in a forested area. Currently, there are major renovation and building projects going on to bring the various sections of the highway back to life. From 2023 to 27, the region has budgeted for refurbishments and expansions of the current roadway network, including intersections and bridges. Another failed project from the 60s and 70s in Pennsylvania is the longingly called Goat Path Expressway. This route was meant to be part of the main and highly frequented highway named Pennsylvania Route 23, which connects the cities of Lancaster, New Holland, Morgantown, Bridgeport, and Conshohocken. The eastward leg not only leads to nowhere, but is not at all fit for driving. It can easily be seen from Route 23. The plan was to construct a 4-lane route southwest of Norristown, so on your drive you may spot a goat or two in a particular rectangular plot of land. Why? Around the same time, the state ran out of money for the Valley Forge Road project. To cover the losses, they leased the land to local farmers and covered it up with dirt. Now goats roam freely and keep the weeds from getting out of hand. At least they get a bonus out of that deal. The I-710 is not a highway but a section of the Interstate 710 running from Long Beach to Pasadena in the state of California. The highway was planned in the 1960s, and the northern part caused controversy due to its impact on the surrounding forest and land. Funding issues led to the unfinished section, and so the Foothill Freeway leads to nowhere. The original plan was to build a 23-mile freeway, but a 4.5-mile gap remains between Albrahama and Pasadena. Environmental concerns delayed the project until 2017, when plans were finally abandoned. This time, for a change, we have Mother Nature to blame, as opposed to a lack of investments. In 1978, country records. March 3rd through 4th, 1978, heavy rains caused 20 deaths due to flooding and mudslides in Los Angeles area. Overall, 20 people died, 13 of them in the San Gabriel Mountains. There were widespread flooding, flash flooding, and mudslides. Numerous homes were washed away. After this natural disaster, the highway was closed completely. However, the route itself is also odd. as it moves upward toward La Habra. There is a gap, and Route 39 starts again at West Covina. This route was notoriously difficult to construct, as it ran along the cliff edges, and plans from the 30s to complete it were abandoned completely. It's still a popular hiking destination, though. Located on the north shore of Montana Lake, Bryson City, there is a road known commonly as the Road to Nowhere, another man-made creation doomed by Mother Nature. The story begins with the building of a dam in 1913. Not only were communities relocated, but the main highway 288 was also buried. The new route promised by the state in the 1940s and contractors would stretch from Bryson City to Fontana and run 30 miles or 48 kilometers east-west. However, by 1972, a series of environmental concerns too expensive for contractors to fix brought construction to a halt. Today we have a small bit of road leading to a tunnel and essentially nowhere. Running only 1.5 miles or 2.4 kilometers, this auxiliary highway both leads to nowhere and is a canvas for public art and graffiti. It was part of the Southern Connector Roadway project, which would link traffic coming from the northern end of the I-89 to the commercial center in South Burlington. Construction ran from the 1980s to 90s, but were stalled for a handful of reasons, from environmental concerns to funding to shifting political concerns. The northern part of I-89 is well paved and maintained today, and so it is perfectly fit for driving. Moving way northward now, we have the Gravina Highway that was approved in 2005 and also includes a bridge. This highway bridge would connect Ketchikan to Gravina Island and was deemed necessary as that is where the airport is located. This project was funded by the federal government and was met with great enthusiasm by both local communities, researchers or explorers, and politicians in Washington. However, as the plan rolled out, complaints started. This grandiose idea of a bridge to rival the Golden Gate Bridge in Alaska is a waste of taxpayer money. In the end, due to funds already being transferred to the Alaskan government to the tune of $25 million, they built a highway without the bridge that essentially leads to nowhere. And finally, at number 10, we leave you with another aptly titled Highway to Nowhere from the 1970s. That was meant to connect the existing I-70, I-83, and I-95. This project was an absolute mess from the landscape and the community. 1,500 residents were displaced, more than 1,000 homes and businesses were destroyed, and today there is a strange and unappealing to the eye physical separation of structures in North Baltimore. In 2023, Baltimore was awarded a $2 million grant and plans are underway to reconnect and replace the community there. The highway, which is operational today, may be shut down and the separation merged back together. Did you enjoy the video? Go check out more on the Urban Jungle channel.